you're gonna fucking suck, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're not sawing on it hard enough.
Okay, all right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another sprint car vlog. This weekend, Pombo came to the racetrack, Stevie came to the racetrack, everyone came to the racetrack. It was an amazing experience. Thank you so much, Kyle, for having me. I love driving the 54X anytime I get the chance to, and this weekend was definitely a good weekend. We started off strong, ended strong, and yeah, it was just all in all a fun experience, and I was really happy to get back at Chico and get some more seat time, more laps, and let's break away and get into the thick of it. So first night qualifying, it was pretty juiced up, so I feel like whenever the track's like this for Chico, it can either be really straightforward or really like tight and hard to absolutely execute these laps because there's grease on the track, but we're getting into it. It's a 360, so you guys know the deal. We're just wide open right now, absolutely singing the thing, trying to hold the wheel as straight as possible, be as in control and as smooth with the steering wheel as you possibly can be, because when the track's like this, every little bit just adds up, and you want every single one of those tenths to be in your favor. And I feel like where that is really made up is keeping the wheel in your hands and keeping your right foot just absolutely buried. And I believe we ended up coming in 7th quick, and that made us line up second next to Justin Sanders. This was the first time I ever beat Justin on the start of anything. Justin always usually gets the best of me, but I knew that if I wanted to make the dash spot was better in my hands than Justin's, so I had to execute the start and just follow through with it. But the way I did that was I kind of postured myself to roll down the hill and pinch Justin and put him at a disadvantage and give myself the advantage. So at the end of the day, like I said, it's winning this heat race is better in my hands than it is in his hands, and no matter how I have to do that or come across to get that, we're gonna make sure we execute and do that. And once you kind of do that, whenever the track's like this, you just have to follow through and plug away laps. This is just trying to be smooth and consistent every single lap and just execute. But when I'm out there, this is kind of like I want to say this is like a therapy session right now. Like, I'm really just logging in the laps. It's not too strenuous on the body or on the mind. Whenever the track's like this, you're kind of just holding it wide open and going through the motions. There's a big fuel factor, I feel like, in driving a sprint car, and right now the fuel factor is pretty easy to control. The feel in your hands, the feel in the pedal, the feel in your ass whenever the rear end slips out from under you. It's very easily managed whenever the track is this fast. The only thing that'll really get to you is the G's really pulling you into the seat, because you are cooking right now. You are hauling the mail. And if you were to get into lap traffic, that's when this kind of track gets a little sketchy and kind of makes the feel wild. And you'll see that later in the feature, because it was definitely hectic whenever we got to lap traffic, and I feel like that's ultimately what lost me the race, was getting into lap traffic and being the hunted instead of the hunter. And I should have constantly been looking for some things. There's a couple things I noticed on the racetrack that I'll show you guys that I think if I would have had that in my mind while I was leading, I think it would have been a different story, and Shaden probably wouldn't have gotten around me. But that's not the name of the game. We still ended up third, and yeah, but we locked ourselves into a dash spot both nights, so we're putting ourselves in position to win these races, and sooner than later, we're going to win them.
All right, bro. Good luck, big dog.
Hey, feel that when you get fired up off exit over there, so you know where you need to be. You know, I don't know who's on the outside of you, but
Fuck him. I'll push him off the track.
there you go.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Leave me alone. Sorry, Michael. I did mean that. Now lining up, P1 in the dash. I definitely think starting on the inside was not the best this whole entire night, but that's the way it goes sometimes, and Shane definitely gets the best of me. I felt like I got a really good start, though. He just had so much more momentum coming down the track, like I said, how I wanted to position myself against Justin. And yeah, Shane just pretty much runs away with it at this point. We're just logging laps, just like leading the heat race, except now I'm in second, and and I have to stare at a white 17W tail tank. So we'll fast forward, get into the feature because this is pretty straightforward. But now we're starting second. So now we're on the beneficiary side of the starting position on the track. And yeah, same thing with Justin. I'm trying to go up a little bit into the banking. And then as you can see, I start to creep down with my steering wheel. So that way my posture is correct and I'm straight coming to the flag stand. And with that, it's the little things that really help you excel. It won't work out every time, guys. Like, you'll see it in my Saturday night vlog. I tried 2 different starts next to Stanley, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and sometimes you make 2 different decisions, and the 2 different decisions are not the best because you're just working with what you got. And tonight, starting on the outside was definitely the best, as you saw in my heat race and in the dash and in here. The outside always prevailed. So on the choose cone, obviously I'm going to choose the outside. I am going to pick the best position for myself. But now with the restart, I get to really control the pace. So I went really early and tried to put Shane at the biggest disadvantage as possible. I tried to go as early as I could into the corner and really come across his snout. So that way he would have to turn hard and kill all of his momentum. And I would never have to hesitate. My momentum would only build as his is braking. And then once you're out in the lead, in these situations, it's pretty much the same thing as the heat race. You're just plugging away at it. You're trying to create smooth, calm, and fluid laps. And it's definitely easier said than done in the long 30-lap features because with the heat race, you have low fuel. You're not really going to catch lap traffic. Right now, I'm trying to just mitigate my pace because I know that the guys behind me aren't up my ass kicking field goals, and they're not going to drive around me on the outside, and they're probably not going to shove a snout underneath me and make it stick. So it's not very crucial right now to log in really fast laps every single lap. It's more just being consistent and not making those mistakes every single lap. But when you get to lap traffic, woo, baby, that was a butthole pucker moment, but it was also a good moment where I knew that Shane was pretty far behind me because if he was up my ass right there, he would have blown by me the second my left rear came off the ground, but he didn't. So I knew I kind of had a buffer and I was actually logging really good laps, but now he is on my ass and I got to put these lap cars behind me. And like I said earlier, I feel like this is when I started to lose the race because now I'm running the very bottom and I'm mitigating my line. I just biked it up, trying to go 4 above it because I believe I lifted too much. When you get behind lap cars, it's hard to really see the whole picture and the full corner because now I'm in dirty air. And more than just the air factor itself, dirty air is I can't see perfectly in front of me. I don't have the whole racetrack to look at. I have to look at cars in front of me now, and I have to look at the guys going slower in front of me, and I have to now mitigate my line and my choices due to the people in front of me. So it's definitely, the clean air factor is air itself, but it is also a very big part of being the visual and just having cars in front of you that aren't going as fast as you. But you are the hunted right now, so you have to go. Same thing, double file restart, I'm choosing the outside. That time I got a really good arc, but now I feel like after I just ran with all those lap cars, I'm now running lower on the track. I watch these GoPro videos as I'm cutting them for this video, and then I also really watch them as I'm doing the voiceovers right now. And my line is definitely significantly lower now that I have been to lap traffic. And I also biked it up huge, and I didn't want to throw it away like I almost did in lap traffic. So that's definitely in the back of my mind, and I feel like ever since I picked up the left rear, it mitigated my race tremendously. Whereas I should have just taken a deep breath, recollected my thoughts, and how I said I should have looked at the track, I should have looked at the track under this upcoming yellow and noticed that Shane and everyone is packing in a lane above the bumps, and it looked pretty smooth. And if it looks pretty smooth, it probably is really smooth. Like, see right here, it's really smooth. The whole entire outer lane is very, like, the bottom wasn't holes, but it was just choppy from everyone and their mom in the back half of the field trying to get around people, tossing the nose, digging the right rear into the dirt really hard. And now I, with a single file restart, gave Shane the option to have the same line as me, and you'll see what happens. He has big momentum because I didn't ruin his start. And yeah, I tried to go on the bottom because that's what I was running the whole entire time, and now it's apparent to me that, hey, Shane's running way above it. We can definitely do that. But I feel like my car turned in really easy, and if there was something I could have done maybe to mitigate that, it would probably be a little more air in the right rear, soften up the left front shock a little bit. And I feel like the left rear had a tremendous amount of drive, but in order for the car to really turn in and lean in like that, there's kind of a couple things that can go into play. You can have a lot of right rear stick, which I think was the air pressure, because my sidewall was folding under really hard, as Kyle told me and Michael told me. Every single corner entry, it looked like the rim was damn near about to touch, and I think that was what was bringing me down the track. Whereas if I had a little there and the right rear pumped up a little bit more, I would have been able to probably slip into the corner and slip throughout the whole corner and keep the car up a little bit higher. But once I had the car posture pointed and I had it bent and set for the entry, it would kind of zip me around the whole entire corner, which is awesome if there isn't holes and abrasions all over the whole entire track. If the track's smooth, clean, and fast, we would have been lights out, I believe. But there was a little bit of character to it, and when I'm out there, I got to do my best. So I'm stuck with what I got. I can't go into the pits and tell the guys to change it. So one way I think I could have been better is just to really commit to the outside, kind of bury it up in the fluff a little bit, and make the bend work for me. Whereas I said the car would kind of pull me down to the inside because I had so much right rear stick and the left rear was driving really hard. I think if I would have buried it really high up on the entry, it probably would have zipped me around the holes really fast. But at this point, I don't know, the best way to put it is I'm not focused on what's going to make me win. I biked it up. I was a little tedious. I just lost 2 positions after leading the race. Not that I'm thinking about losing this race, but it's definitely going to be hard for me to get back around these guys without getting into lap traffic. And lap traffic's not even going to be a cakewalk either. So it's definitely not going to be an easy road to come back and win this race. But as you can see right here, I am trying to get my car to open up on the entry a little bit more. I felt like my 1 and 2 was good. It's just so hard when it's this juiced up. Wherever the car kind of wants to go, if it's smooth, I think you should do that. And if you're leading, it's going to be really hard to pass you. So just that little tiny bit that I moved up in these corners right here, I think was a tremendous big thing. And if I would have just done that off that restart with Shane, I think I could have won this night. But you know what? That almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and definitely not sprint car racing, because the checkered flag and race monitor does not lie. But now here on this restart, I know that Shiramani's going to go to the top, so I bomb it off in there. I knew that if I arced open my corner really wide and cut across the holes, that was my best way to get across the holes. And I tried to do it once in 1 and 2, tried to do it again in 3 and 4, and it didn't really work out, so that was kind of my Hail Mary, and now we're just going to go back to logging laps and trying to be smooth and consistent with it and bring home a podium. But yeah, it stings to lose one like that, but you know what? Running third is nothing to shake a stick at, and honestly, thank you so much to Kyle and all the guys back at the trailer who give me the opportunity to run the 54X. It was definitely an amazing weekend, and one of these days we'll get one. But yeah, I mean, all these third places, I mean, back in the day I would have killed to run third place, so to be consistently running third, I'm extremely grateful and I'm super happy. But we're not content. We're gonna keep on wanting more. I want to win these races. I want to perform, and yeah. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.